Remember how I told you that 2011 was pretty barren for me because I didn't see any movies that I can say I truly loved? Well, that was before I saw Perfect Sense, and I freaking loved it. Perfect Sense is a 2011 movie that once again proves British people know their fucking science fiction. The story revolves around a plague that hits humanity and takes away people's senses. So first they lose their sense of smell, and then their sense of taste, and throughout the course of the movie they lose 4 senses, and it gets, actually it's not a movie about the end of the world, it's a 4-in-1 end of the world movie, because you have 4 tiny apocalypses, one right after the other. The story also revolves around a man and a woman who meet and fall in love just as the plague hits, just as the end of the world starts happening. And the reason why their relationship, their romantic relationship, is so interesting is because these two people are so different from one another. You know, the guy is a chef, he's played by Ewan McGregor. The girl is a scientist, she's an epidemiologist. I think you get the hint. She's a scientist dealing with epidemics. And they're both so different and both have their issues that the reason why I was interested in their relationship is I was wondering, would they still be together if it wasn't the end of the world? Are they just clinging to this relationship because it is the end of the world and because they want to cling to something, just as, you know, humanity is circling the drain? Just as their story is unfolding, you keep switching back and forth between them and the rest of the world, because the movie does want to emphasize that this is a global pandemic. And the thing that it tries to get across is that, you know, people use their senses to interact with the world, and with each sense that people lose, they retreat more into each other. And also, there's this idea that this isn't the kind of plague that kills millions of people in gruesome ways. This is the kind of plague that affects everybody by lowering their quality of life. And actually, you know, when they lose their taste, well, fuck it, you know, you don't need your taste to actually live. And it's only when they start losing the big senses that people start to lose their shit. Now, the main story takes place in Glasgow, but like I said, the movie does try to emphasize that this is a global pandemic. And we switch back and forth, and the way they try to get across that point that this is a human race type problem, this is the personal problem, is that they use a lot of stock footage. So a voiceover will say something like, there were riots breaking up in Asia, and you see stock footage of riots in Middle Eastern Asia. That actually made it look kind of amateurish, in the sense that, you know, if you had the budget for it, you could infiltrate that idea into the storyline in other ways without, you know, making me feel like I'm watching a documentary or something. Another thing that may piss off some people about Perfect Sense is that they give up on trying to cure the thing pretty early on. I mean, it gets to a point where it's obvious that they will probably never find a cure, but, you know, that person in me that grew up on American entertainment and American movie and television, it was like, you know, halfway through it, I'm like, can't we just get Gregory House or Dustin Hoffman with the monkey up in here and let's just cure this bitch? But the thing I love most about Perfect Sense is that if 10 million people see this, they will get 10 million different things out of it. It connects with you on a personal level, and it makes you think about, you know, how you interact with the world, how you use your senses, and what you would lose if you couldn't taste or you couldn't smell or you couldn't hear anymore. And since it is Valentine's Day, I should end this review by saying, you know, given the way that this movie ends, if you see it with your girlfriend or your boyfriend, there will be some serious fucking going on after this movie. There will be some serious, you know, gut-wrenching, soul-clenching, you know, sobbing, like, oh, I want to spend the end of the world with you, type fucking. I guarantee it.